Communication skills, Dilts et al., 1980, McMaster and Grinder, 1981, Richardson and McGulis, 1981, Laborde, 1982, Dilts, 1983, Yeager, 1985, Eicher, 1987, Smith and Halbom, 1988, Sales skills, Moyne, 1981, Dilts, 1982, 1983, Bagley and Rees, 1987, Negotiation skills, Dilts, 1980, 1983, early 1986, Laborde, 1987, Organizational development and training, Dilts, 1979, Moran, 1979, Gaster, 1988, Dilts, 1993 and 4, The management of creativity and innovation, Dilts, Epstein and Dilts, 1991, Dilts and Bonasone, 1993, Recruitment and selection, Bailey, 1994, and leadership, Pyle, 1988, Gaster, 1988, and Dilts, 1996. NLP has both analytical and interactive tools that vary according to the level of behavior or relationship being analyzed. Access and cues, rapport, perceptual positioning, logical levels, meta-model patterns, submodalities, strategies, meta-program patterns, sleight of mouth patterns, well-formedness conditions, or outcomes, etc. We'll each slice the pie into different chunks that are appropriate for different types of interactions. The multi-level framework provided by NLP makes it possible to package abstract conceptual information regarding global and cultural patterns and trends into a form that may be connected to concrete organizational instruments, training seminars, and individual actions and behaviors. With the tools and processes provided by neurolinguistic programming, it is possible to build a pragmatic model of the psychological elements necessary for effective leadership, thinking, and behavior. The belief system of NLP is that while on one hand we all have physical differences and differences in our backgrounds of experiences, we also share a lot of common features, and that the process level we could actually learn from, say, somebody like an Albert Einstein. He might have taken a lifetime of experience to develop the mental programs that he used to formulate the theory of relativity. But once that program is developed, we can understand and apply its structure without the need for the same lifetime of experience. As an analogy, the amount of time it takes for a computer programmer to initially develop a software program is much longer than it takes to transfer that program to another computer after it has already been written. Thus, while neurolinguistic programming is about identifying and appreciating individual differences and individual styles of thinking, it also asserts that we can learn from other people's experiences because there are fundamental similarities between our nervous systems. We can also be enriched by other people's programs. Perhaps the most important aspect of NLP is its emphasis on practicality. NLP concepts and training programs emphasize interactive, experiential learning context so that the principles and procedures may be readily perceived and understood. Furthermore, since NLP processes are drawn from effective human models, their value and underlying structures are often intuitively recognized by people with little or no previous experience, baby. Training programs involving NLP have been implemented in many major corporations and organizations throughout the world, including Fiat, IBM, American Express, the US Army, the State Railway of Italy, Apple Computer, Xerox, Merrill Lynch, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and many others. Next. Page 7. Principles of NLP. NLP is based upon a set of fundamental assumptions about people and about reality that have important implications for all areas of human endeavor. The map is not the territory. NLP operates from the assumption that the map is not the territory. As human beings, we can never know reality, in the sense that we have to experience reality through our senses, and our senses are so limited. A bee looking at the same page would perceive it very differently than we do, because the whole sensory organization of the bee is different. We can only make maps of reality around us through the information that we receive through our senses, and the connection of that information to our own personal memories and other experiences. Therefore, we don't tend to respond to reality itself, but rather to our own maps of reality. From this perspective, there is no one right or correct map of the world. We all have our own worldview, and that worldview is based upon the sort of neurolinguistic maps that we have formed. It's these neurolinguistic maps that will determine how we interpret and how we react to the world around us, and give meaning to our behaviors and our experiences, more so than reality itself. Thus, it is genuinely not external reality that limits us, constrains us, or empowers us, but rather it is our map of that reality. The basic idea of NLP is that if you can enrich or widen your map, you will perceive more choices available to you given the same reality. The primary function of NLP tools and techniques is to help to widen, enrich, or to add to our maps of the world. The basic presupposition of NLP is that the richer your map of the world is, the more possibilities that you have of dealing with whatever challenges occur in reality. Life and mind are systemic. A second presupposition, assumption of NLP is that life and mind are systemic processes. That is, we are a system of interactions made up of many subsystems, and we are also a system within a series of larger systems. The interactions that happen within a human being and between human beings and their environment are systemic and occur according to certain systemic principles. Our bodies, our interpersonal relationships, and our societies form a kind of ecology of systems and subsystems, all of which are mutually influencing each other. On one level, it is not possible to completely isolate any one part of a system from another. People are influenced by many aspects of the system around them. It is important to take into account not only the processes that are happening within the individual, but also the influences on that person from the system around him or her. For instance, a personal process that is effective in one type of system or environment may be constrained or inhibited in another. We need to consider the total system of interaction that is stimulating, encouraging, and influencing a particular phenomenon or process. The law of requisite variety. In systems theory, there is a principle called the law of requisite variety. This principle is very important with respect to effective performance of any type. The implication of the law of requisite variety is that we need to be constantly exploring variations in the operations and the processes that we use to get results. Even processes that have been effective in the past might not continue to be effective if the environment or the system around it changes. In other words, one of the traps or limits to creativity is past success. It's easy to believe that because something was successful before, it will continue to be successful. But if there are challenges in the system around it, those things which used to work, like you and me, will no longer continue to function. Specifically, the law of requisite variety states that in order to successfully